So the class part of this is going to be fairly simple, and then we're going to try and spend a bunch of time just practicing and then answering your guys' questions about kind of what can and cannot be done, if that makes sense. Let me get up a graphic for you guys, and we'll get started. Who here has never lit a Sino?
I have not.
Neither have I. Nope.
Cool. Alright, so LinkedIn Fleet is a cool little graphic that will show you guys kind of what can and cannot be done with different kinds of Sinos. I'll bring this up in the stream as well. So stream, here you go. How do I into Sinos? I'll give you guys a second to kind of absorb that, and then you tell me what questions you have.
I'm in my truck, sorry.
Okay. For those who can't hear, he's asking if you need Sinos trained to a high level to activate a covert Sino. Yes, you do. And then what's the next question? Yeah, okay, so you might not be able to see the graphic that I'm showing or that I linked to right now, which is fine. So I'll just describe it basically. A normal Sino can be used by anything with a jump drive. So that's regular capitals, supers, rorks, titans. Titans can bridge to they can only bridge to a regular Sino, right? Industrial Sinos can be jumped to by jump freighters and black ops. Oh, and I forgot to mention black ops can jump to a normal Sino. Basically, black ops can do whatever they want. They can go to a normal Sino, an industrial Sino, or a covert Sino. Black ops are the most flexible. Yeah, so that's a good question. So the kind of the linchpin for the Black Ops bridge is the Black Ops battleship. The Black Ops battleship is the only one that can open that kind of bridge. Same thing with the regular fleet, right? That a Titan is a pretty high bar to be able to bridge a fleet around. Black Ops is a much lower bar in terms of ISK and SP, obviously, but it is still high compared to someone just starting out. New pilots shouldn't be aspiring to the Black Ops battleship. You should start at the bottom just like anything else and start with the Astero if you can. Move up to a bomber and then maybe later on look to getting recons or T3s trained up.
So what are the little boxes? Like for the regular Sino, it says 250 to 450 LO and then 5 minutes. What does that represent?
Yeah, good question. So it's showing you actually on all three of those the amount of liquid ozone that is required to light the Sino. That is something I'm going to link right now. LinkedIn Fleet, that is the fuel that is used for lighting Sinos.
Docking request accepted.
Your sinusoidal field generator requires fuel in order to activate.
Sun is up. No, it's not. Oh my god, I'm such a dick.
You don't have ozone, do you?
I don't have ozone.
Hold them until Zip can get there. Zip, link the system.
Yeah, I'm on my way. I'm moving.
Come
It's
on.
going to be a while, though. He's going to get killed by the fort at the Citadel before I get there. You should just get off. Just get off.
Just keep coming. Just keep coming. God damn it. I'm such a dick.
Guys, we're back to the fort. And I'll actually link the different kinds of Sino so you guys can look at the info on those as well. There's a normal Sino. There's a covert Sino, industrial Sino. And again, Black Ops can bridge or jump to all three of these kinds of Sinos.
Docking request accepted.
And then there was another question attached to that. Let me grab that. So that's telling you how much liquid ozone it requires, and then the time next to it is telling you how long the Sino lasts for. So a regular Sino lasts for 5 minutes, an industrial Sino lasts for 10 minutes, and a covert Sino lasts for 1 minute.
So is that saying that a black ops is only 30 seconds for a covert instead of a minute, or is that the minus 30 seconds part?
Shows it as a flat 5 minutes. It's not showing any deviation anywhere, right? So for a blockade runner, a stealth bomber, a covert tech 3, a covert ops frigate, prospect, Etana, Rabisu, if it lights a covert Sino, it's going to be 1 minute. The force recon and the black ops are going to be 30 seconds.
How come the best place to light a Sino is always at the sun at 0?
That's a meme for those of you that don't know. That is not the best place to light a Sino. It is the best place to troll people with Sinos, though. Or one of the best.
Where is the best place to light a sign?
It depends on what you want to do. If you're moving from station to station or citadel to citadel, it will be within the tether docking perimeter of the station or citadel, but not too close that you risk the ship that is jumping to you bumping off of the structure. If you're doing a combat drop, it's going to vary widely depending on the needs of your combat drop. If you're tackling a ratting ship and lighting a Sino, it's going to be right on top of the ratting ship. If you're lighting a Sino to bridge a large fleet in, sometimes you'll do it at a safe spot, sometimes you'll do it at a ping, sometimes you'll do it right in their face. If you're lighting a Sino for example, a bunch of dreads to jump into a fight, you're probably going to want to do it as close as possible, unless you're long range fit, and then you're lighting it whatever the optimal range for your long range dread guns is.
And can you stay cloaked while dropping the Sino? Or do you have to...
Absolutely not.
Figured.
Yep, and actually a discussion of Sinos would be incomplete without a discussion of jammers, so we'll pull that up real quick and then we'll practice some things. Actually, I think we have a nice little thing that we can just look at in QTAC 5 here. Let's see. Yes, it is still up. You guys can go ahead and undock. And if you don't already see the Sino jammer on your overview, I've linked it in Fleet. If you right-click that, you should have the option to add a Tenebrix, whatever you want to call it, the Sino jammer to your overview. Remove Upwell or add Upwell Sino jammer to overview. So there's a couple different versions of this. This is a system-wide Sino jammer. It requires you to have the SOV in a system. You have to own the iHub. And you have to have held it for a certain amount of time. Basically, the strategic index has to be high enough for you to anchor that structure. And then there's a mobile version, linked in Fleet, mobile Sino inhibitor. If you have a look at the info on that, it'll tell you what it's effective at, how long it takes to anchor. You'll see this a lot in actually Black Ops drops themselves. You will, blops onto a Rorqual or a carrier or something like that, and you'll see someone immediately pop one of these out and start anchoring it so that if someone wants to come rescue it, they have to light a Sino at over 100 kilometers away, basically. They can't, just light it right on top of you. One thing to note about both of these types of inhibitors is that covert ops Sinos can still be lit under both of these types of inhibitors. So if a system is jammed, you can still light a covert Sino. If someone has anchored a mobile Sino inhibitor on a grid, you can still light a covert Sino within its jamming range.
You weren't lying about Black Ops doing anything.
They kind of can, yeah. Some things they can't do. You cannot light a Sino on an ESS grid or within an ESS, any kind of Sino, covert or otherwise. I'll just go ahead and demonstrate that actually in MY. The same goes for dead space pockets, which is kind of weird. So, for example, if you chase somebody into an escalation, you cannot light a Sino inside that escalation. And based on the last time that I tried it, you can't light a Sino on the entry gate, the first gate, either. That's considered dead space. questions about that. So there are some limitations. Sinos of any kind cannot be lit in high sec. It's all low sec and null sec, and there's no point in lighting them in wormhole space because nothing is in range of wormhole space. And I guess that's the last thing we need to talk about is range. All the different kinds of capital ships, including Black Ops battleships, have a range of their jump drives, and the range of the jump drive on a Titan and on a Black Ops battleship also mirror their bridge range. So however far it can jump, that's how far it can bridge. So there you go. I just warped to the ESS and MY and tried to activate my covert Sino. I'm being told that natural phenomena are disrupting this operation. If you ever want to know the range of someone's bridge or jump ability, you just have to go to .lan and look it up. I'll go ahead and pull that up for us right now. So you go to .lan, you go to navigation, and you go to range, and then you put in the system that they're jumping from. So for us, it'd be, for example, QTAC 5. You want to include, thank you, Shape, I'll get to that in a second. You want to include the type of ship that you're bridging with or jumping with. And it'll show you on a map all the systems you can hit. This map isn't super useful. What you really want to do is go down and look at the region maps. So this map shows us that we can hit all of Pureblind except for that bottom left constellation down there. Some of Fade, a couple systems in Declan, and a couple constellations in Cloud Ring. Someone in Twitch chat just mentioned that a bridge requires other fuel than liquid ozone, which is true. My Panther, for example, requires hydrogen isotopes in order to either jump or bridge. It has a fuel bay in which I have hydrogen isotopes sitting here. These are consumed as you guys take my bridge, and the consumption rate is based on the mass of ships that are jumping through the bridge. Same thing goes with Titan bridges. They have their own fuel bay. Questions on any of that stuff? Go ahead and add Apollo to your watch list. I've X'd in fleet. And go ahead and dock in the fort, please. Everyone dock up in the fort. Add Apollo to your watch list. And we're going to do a dry run here to show you guys kind of what a combat drop might sort of look like. So if we're all prepared for a Black Ops fleet like this, there might be, for example, people in QTAC 5 watching us, and if we're all sitting outside next to a Panther, they know what can happen, they know what ships we're in, so the most covert way to do this is for everyone to be docked. I've moved myself to a citadel that is ideally pretty close to an insta undock from the fort. And what would happen is I'm going to tell you guys what's going to happen, and then we're going to try it out. So I would undock the Panther as whoever is hunting is about to get tackle on a target. I would tell you all to warp to the bridge. So you guys would undock from the fort and warp to Apollo in this case. And then as whoever's hunting got tackle on the target and lit their Sino, I would light a bridge and you guys would land and immediately take that bridge. That's the most stealthy way to do this maneuver. So we're going to try that out now. So everyone should be docked in the fort. Everyone should have Apollo on their watch list. That's going to be the quickest way to be able to warp to the Panther. So stand by. Undock, warp to Apollo. the bridge is up, so you just right-click the Panther or right-click Apollo from your watch list and use the jump option. You can also just use the radial menu. There you go. All right, so it happens pretty fast. I'm going to light it again, or I'm going to use the bridge again. For those that missed it, 2 of you made it. Nice job. So make sure to just stay right on top of the Panther. Do this again. This is why we're doing a dry run.
So if you take a Sino, you do not get invincibility when you go through the jump?
I don't believe so. Go ahead and take the bridge. Take the bridge. Take the bridge. Bridge, 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 bridge. Mazer, you need to be close enough. You're at 2,500.
2502. And that was the problem.
Yep. Go ahead. Try it again. So 2,500 is the bridge range. Good. Glad we learned that. If you're outside of 2,500, you will not be able to take the bridge. Cool. Everyone made it. No, I believe you do not get an invincibility timer or whatever, like when you undock from a station.
You're even given a no tether buff, so you can't immediately tether up.
Yeah, a debuff, that one might say. Yep, very true. It is intended to be somewhat risky to use Sinos, but you know, if you take proper precautions, it can be a very safe endeavor. Okay, so cool. So we tried that out. Everyone go ahead and head back to Q5. So just warp yourselves back to Q5, jump in, and go back to the fort. We'll try this again, but we'll do it slightly different this time.
What is the sphere that you come into after you take the bridge? How far away from the Sino can you be?
5K. So if you're watching the stream, I'll show it right now. On the edge of that sphere is where you're going to end up. Randomly distributed on that sphere.
So there's no limit to the number of ships that can jump through other than how much fuel you need?
That's right, the limitation is the fuel. Okay, so the next thing we're about to do is called a Conduit Jump. And that's where instead of lighting the bridge and you guys having to jump through the bridge, I'm going to jump my Black Ops battleship to the Sino, taking everyone that is in range along with me. The limit on the number for that is 30, by the way. So myself plus 30 passengers, as it were, can come along on a Conduit Jump. Susie, you coming on this one?
No, unfortunately.
And there we go. So, same concept. It's a little quicker, but the Black Ops bridge has to come along, which is dangerous because this is a very, very expensive boat here. We're going to do one more. Not that it needs demonstrating, but we will demonstrate that a industrial Sino can be used for this, which should be telling those of you who don't have the skills for lighting covert Sinos that you have other options, which is pretty cool. There are some very tanky ways to fit industrial ships, and they can be pretty effective bait.
Is there a general advantage to the Black Ops Sino versus the Industrial?
Yeah, I mean, it lasts for a shorter amount of time. It's one advantage right off the bat, so you're not sitting on the field vulnerable for as long if, whatever fight or whatever it is ends. You can get away very quickly with the covert Sino, but not so much with the industrial Sino. Generally, though, the industrial Sino bait ship is expendable, right? So you don't really worry too much about that. The industrial Sino can be fit onto some fairly agile ships, I guess, if you include, like, I don't know, the Venture.
So the person who lights a Sino is not able to move for the entire duration of the Sino?
That's correct.
Okay, thanks.
They can't dock, they can't jump, they can't warp, they can't move.
Oh, I missed that part at the beginning, I guess.
No, actually, we didn't mention that. I'm glad someone asked it. That's definitely something worth noting.
Yeah, it seems like an important bit.
Yep, when you light a Sino, you're not going anywhere until that Sino ends or you're dead.
Can you activate other modules?
Yep. So you're just basically dead in the water.
That makes a lot more sense than why it was listed as a bonus for the less time then.
Yep. Yeah.
I thought it was just confusing before, like, why would less time be better? But yeah.
Yeah. So the other disadvantage to the industrial, I mean, we kind of mentioned this, but just to kind of go over it again, the T1 Industrial, the Blockade Runner, the Deep Space Transport, and the Venture aren't ships that are well known for their combat prowess, being able to, like, get into a situation, tank some damage, and light a Sino for a fleet to come help them. The T1 Industrials, like we were talking about, there are some of them that can be fit to be extremely tanky, but they're not very fast. Blockade Runners can be very fast, but they're not very tanky. Deep Space Transports can be very tanky, but not very fast. The Venture is very fast, but cannot tank hardly at all. So, whereas on the Covert Sino side, your Force Recons are globally somewhat tanky and quick. The Stealth Bombers have the advantage of being able to decloak and immediately lock a target. There's no decloak delay on a Stealth Bomber. Covert T3s are very agile and very tanky if they're fit correctly. And the rest of them are kind of just one-off, I would say. Is the Industrial Sino ready?
Ready.
Okay, so this is the more casual way to do this. I'm not talking about the industrial side, I'm talking about the way that I'm going to have you guys gather up on me. The more casual way to do this is just for me to undock. Tell you guys to undock, and, oh, did I go to the... No, I'm in the right place. You guys can undock and just approach the Panther. So this is, if we don't have anyone in the system that's watching us, we don't need to worry about them, seeing what we're about to do. We're good. Don't have to worry about eyes, whatever. Just undock and get on the Panther, and we can all just sit here and chill until everyone's ready and the target has been secured. One thing I will ask is, does anyone have a blue timer in the top left that is more than 10 minutes right now? It's called the jump fatigue timer. Everyone should have one right now, but I don't know if anyone has one over 10 minutes.
6 here.
Yeah, just under 6.
Okay, good. So that jump fatigue timer is actually something really important that I should have mentioned before. My bad. Sorry. Jump fatigue is a mechanic that limits how often you can use a jump drive or bridge. As you jump through bridges or jump your capital or your Black Ops battleship or whatever you happen to be using, you will gain jump fatigue. The red timer prevents you from jumping, which none of us have right now. And the blue timer is sort of a calculation of how much fatigue you're building up. If you have a high amount of fatigue when you jump, your red timer will get longer and longer the more quickly you jump. So much so that, like, a capital ship jumping generally generates somewhere within an hour of fatigue, meaning that if you jump before that hour is up, it's going to increase pretty heavily. There's some really complicated math behind how it works. You guys can go look that up if you're so inclined. What matters, though, is the more you jump, the more frequently you jump, the quicker your fatigue is going to increase, and that will prevent you from jumping at some point. Anything under 10 minutes for the blue timer is effectively 0. That's why I asked about the 10-minute mark. As far as the math is concerned, if you have 9 minutes and 59 seconds of jump fatigue, you might as well have 0. Don't ask me why it has to be that way. Ask math.
Like, what will your red timer be if you just have No blue timer before you jump.
It depends on the type of jump and it depends on the range. So we're using Black Ops right now, and Black Ops actually, if you look at your ships, I think all of you should get roll bonuses to reduction in fatigue. I think it's 80%. So let's look at the Purifier, for example. Oh, nope, it's not on you. Maybe it's on me. 75% reduction to effective distance traveled for jump fatigue. So when you guys take my bridge, you're also getting that bonus. Essentially, it treats jumps as if they're much shorter than they actually are, even at max range. And like we talked about, range dictates the fatigue that you accrue. So we can actually test it right now. Sizzy, are you ready?
Yep, Sino's up.
Bridges. So bridge is up. I'm just going to bridge us on this one. Bridge is up. Go ahead and take the bridge. Cool. And you can see, obviously, you're able to use a industrial Sino to bridge to, and you guys can jump and go kill whatever the industrial has baited into shooting at it. And then you can also all check your fatigue at the top left and have a look at what you've accrued. And you should also see an orange timer right now. It's probably very short. Someone in Twitch chat mentioned that there is one more option, which is the mobile Sino generator. It's essentially a normal Sino.
Are there other ways to stop a Sino or a bridge, like if you run them out of cap or something like that? Does that break anything, or?
Nope, not at all. You got to kill it.
If you kill a ship with an open Sino, does it immediately close the Sino?
Yes, it does. That was a good 45 minutes. What we're going to do now is we're going to hop down to Southern Comfort. We're going to see if anyone else wants to join us. And then I'm going to send out a hunter, and we're going to see if we can catch a target and blops it. Okay, so we did the Black Ops class last night, and I wanted to just quickly break down the kill that we got on the Black Ops fleet afterwards and talk about some of the stuff that happened, especially from the hunter's perspective. So let's just start this. More strategic operations. We have more heavy hitting doctrines. Okay, so first thing that happens, I jump into system, I see that there's a neutral. I'll see that my directional scanner is telling me that there's nothing in range, so I'm immediately going to start looking for havens and sanctums that are off scan over here. So off scan is anything outside of 14.3 AU. Alright, let's see here. Distance. A haven.
MI6 is empty.
Okay, head up to LT. And then get on the R6 gate. Don't jump into R6, please. Okay, so I picked a haven. It's the first one on the list. Everything is off scan. So I'm going to go to this haven at range. I'm obviously cloaked as soon as I activate warp. And we're going to go look at this first one. Armor, shield, mostly shield. Because we need to deal a lot of damage. We don't have a lot of people, so we need to squeeze as much damage out of our ships in general as possible. Shield is the play. Cool, so you saw that little look on my face there. As soon as I hit scan and see the rattlesnake, I'm very excited. And what I should do here, if I'm playing this correctly, is get ready to drop a bookmark. Let's see if I do it. No. So if he had been there, that would have been a problem, but he's not here. So now I'm looking for... Am I getting an ad? No, it's not the time for an ad. Okay, where he is. So I'm going to drop my angle down to 5 degrees, and I'm going to start scanning the havens and sanctums that are within range of me right now.
LT is empty.
Wait in there, please.
Yep.
Oh, Demosin?
Okay, and you can see I found him at that sanctum, so I'm warping to 50. I warp within 50.
Never mind, that's wrong.
Thanks, Shape.
Fucking bolt.
Everyone. Active USDZ? Yeah, mostly US. Alright, get ready. Okay, so you'll notice what I did right there. I'll back up just a little bit. Is I dropped a bookmark. It's actually hidden, unfortunately, it's hidden behind my portrait here, but I dropped a bookmark as I landed in this site, so we'll watch that again. Oh, it's actually not, it's right here. So I'm getting ready to drop it. As I'm coming in, I'm watching the distance down here, dropping it when I'm a couple thousand kilometers away. There's the rattlesnake. If I hadn't dropped that bookmark, I'd have to find a way to boat 40 kilometers over towards him. But this way, I just warped the bookmark, which I just did, and then I can warp back to a wreck. I'm going to stop looking at chat for a bit. Undock, warp to Apollo. Everyone get on the bridge, undock, warp to Apollo. I'm using the look at function to find something close to him. I'm going to warp to a wreck at range to hopefully land myself as close as possible to him. And then from here, I'm within point range, so I'm just going to approach him. I'm going to decloak, right, because I got to start my decloak timer running. I'm approaching him. I'm forgetting to turn on my micro warp drive, which sucks. I turned it on kind of right there at the end there. He's pointed now. I'm going to get a web on him. And then I'm basically going to start spamming the Sino button as soon as my ship kind of hits him. And the micro warp drive turns off and I slow down enough, the Sino will activate and I will call for everyone to bridge. Bridges up, take the bridge, kill the rattlesnake, take the bridge, kill the rattlesnake, take the bridge, everything on the rattlesnake, take the bridge, bridge, everything on the rattlesnake, bridge, everything on the rattlesnake.
I think he wants you guys to take the bridge.
Kill the rattlesnake, kill it quick, overheat, kill it. Get points, all your points, scrams, everything on the rattlesnake, kill it. A little slow at the end here. As my Sino drops, I should be turning on my micro warp drive again to stay in range because I'm going to lose my web here in a second. Definitely want to be getting closer to him. He gets a burst jam off, or not a burst jam, I think that's actually probably his drone. He's burst jamming, make sure to reestablish shackle. Okay, got him. But yeah, we've got him, and he's down. So yeah, finish him off. Just wanted to, okay, everyone bounce, cloak. Everyone bounce. Just wanted to get a little inside look there for you guys. What an actual Black Ops drop looks like from the hunter's point of view. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something from this. That is Black Ops 101. Thanks for watching.